Heyo everyone! A major factor that separates a new player in Conqueror's Blade versus an experienced player is how they manage their units. Over time, players learn not only what units to take or how to place them, but how to manage them in an effective way. What I would say is probably the number one thing that players learn that improves their effectiveness with units is learning how to micro units. So let's lightly cover this topic. When players talk about microing a unit, they are talking about micromanaging. This means that instead of making large orders, the player makes successive small orders. A quick example of this is instead of telling your units to move their formation far out ahead of you, you would constantly tell them to form up ahead of you while running forward. This keeps the warlord in constant control of what your units are doing. To help cover this more, let's show 4 examples of microing that are commonly used. The first one is very similar to our example. There are certain unit AI that will attack any enemy that get close to them. Most sword and shield units are an example. If an enemy is close, they will run over to attack them. This can be bad if the enemy is stronger or if this pulls them out of a team formation. So as a warlord, you can spam a formation command to keep pulling them back as they run off. The worst AI for this is cavalry. If you use the follow me command, so C, and have cavalry follow you, the cavalry will redirect and attack any nearby enemies, even if you spam double C for sprinting. This is dreadful if the enemy that is nearby is a pike formation just waiting for them to walk up. This is why you will see experienced players constantly spamming X while running with cavalry. They want to maintain control and leave zero chance that an enemy will get close enough to redirect the cavalry. This trick is also used for attacking with cavalry. You run through the enemy while spamming X so that the cavalry will attempt to run through the enemy while attacking without risking standing around for long. Another example of microing is the notorious Simichian Stalwart brace spam. Simichian Stalwarts, when they brace, make an attack as a unit. Their brace damage is rather substantial compared to their normal attacks. Due to this, it is beneficial to a player to have them bracing for higher damage. So a way to take advantage of their brace damage while also being able to move them is to micro them. In essence, you run them up into the enemy and brace. This causes them to make a brace attack and do substantial damage. Then you immediately pull them out of brace, push them into the opponent, and repeat. This allows you to control their attacks while pushing hard into an enemy formation. Also, since bracing causes them to make an attack, this also gets extra hits in. A soldier could just have completed an attack as you command them to brace. That soldier potentially would have to wait another second to hit again, but due to your microing, it immediately gets another hit in. This technique does leave stalwarts weaker, as they do not get their crazy defense while transitioning between brace and forming up, but the damage increase and push potential is amazing for leading a team push. Our third example is microing archers. Any warlord can take ranged units into battle, but I tend to say that certain classes may prefer certain units. This is a perfect example of that. Running a bow class is great for microing archer units. This is because you can still shoot and engage while sitting back with your units. So as for microing archers, primarily using attack area is how you will go about doing it. This allows you to constantly shift the target focus of your units. See an enemy musket unit? Attack area on them. Enemy pike formation, stop in a push, focus them down. This lets you discourage enemy positioning while picking out their support. You can also spam formation orders to prevent your unit from wasting arrows on that solo warlord running past that they have no chance of killing. A well-placed and managed archer unit can be an unsung hero of a defense or advanced. They may not get many kills, but they can prevent the enemy from being able to set up supporting forces. The last thing we will cover is general microing of melee units. Melee units, when they engage, tend to spread out and attack the enemy. This is not necessarily bad, but it is possible to optimize their damage focus through microing. Similar to the Stalwarts example, when using melee units, you can alternate spamming the X and V key. X causes them to fall into formation, and if you use a type formation, this will keep them close together. Hitting V will tell them to attack at will, in essence telling them to attack. By spam alternating these two commands, you will prevent them from spreading out. This means less units will be within the soldier's reach. The benefit of this is that more soldiers will attack fewer units, causing your damage to be more focused. Compare this to an enemy whose damage may be spread across all your units, causing your soldiers to live longer and continuing to get hits in. Meanwhile, you're focusing on fewer of their soldiers, dropping units quicker, which lowers their damage output faster, while also creating less targets, therefore feeding the system. I hope this helped you get a look at microing your units. If you want to see more examples in the future like these, then like the video to let me know. While you're at it, hit that subscribe button to see more from me when it comes out. With that, until next time, I'll see you on the battlefield. Yes! Max level! Finally! Max level Yows.